I'm Jane Parsons. We haven't all met, and I'm the HIFA Craft and Design Consultant, under which this program is falling. We have great pleasure in working together with Mustard Seed Africa, which is led by Gail Mwacha, who some of you have met, or all of you have met. Anyway, Gail will give us a few words just now. And then we have the pleasure of Alexandra Hart being with us to lead us in a creative process. And early this morning I was just thinking how fortunate we all are in our present economic and personal situations, that we have our hands to work with and our creative minds and our creative hearts to collaborate together with. So I look forward to the outcomes of these next 2 days. Gail, do you have a few words for us?
Yeah, I'll also introduce Ellie.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good to see you all again. And I'm so excited that Alexandra's on the ground. She is so talented. She's done amazing work, and she's a metal artist and designer goldsmith. Her work is exhibited in many countries around the world. She's appeared in many magazines. But before we do that, I just want us to just reflect on why we are here and why she is here. As Jane mentioned earlier, we, in the creative space, we can use our hands to survive. But one thing that we've noticed in our work with amongst handcraft in Africa is the design and also finding markets. And it's like the two, it's almost a vicious cycle, because all of you are skilled. You have the techniques. Some of those techniques have been passed on from generation to generation. You can do some of the things in your sleep. But the challenge is design. The challenge is knowing what's trending overseas. The challenge is knowing what the buyer who lives in England or the buyer who lives in France may appreciate. And so we need to reflect on what those challenges are. And some of those challenges, I think, when we grew up, we were told to just focus on maths and English, and there was no scope to delve in the creative side and doing fine art or learning design in school. And then there also has been the disconnect. And then some people may be in rural areas, and you may find that the access to technology. I know some of you have been asking, hey, I sent you an email, did you check it? And some people are saying, I didn't check my email since last year. And so that lack of access to technology, that also limits us. Also the inability to travel to design shows and see what's trending, that can also limit us. So our organization sees the importance of collaboration. Remember, we always talked a lot about collaborating. And so we collaborate with international designers like Alexandra, who have their finger on the pulse. They know what's trending overseas. She's had the privilege to study. So she comes and shares with us who have the skills, and together it's a beautiful marriage. So this is why it's very important that's key on our agenda, always bringing people who can come through and collaborate with us. So I'm just going to read you a bit about Alexandra's portfolio. She is, as I said, she's an ethical metalsmith, and she uses and promotes ethically sourced and recycled precious materials, and is a member of the board of directors, Ethical Metalsmiths. She's received several awards, such as the Centurion Emerging Designer Award, the Draper Award for Outstanding One-Person Exhibition at the Delaware Center for Contemporary Art, and she was also a finalist in the American Couture Jewelry Awards and Niche Awards. In 2009, she was the Centurion Emerging, she received the Centurion Emerging Designer Award and also the World Gold Council in the same year. She also received the Avery Draper Award for Outstanding One-Person Show in the year 2000, and her work has received national and international consumer trade and press coverage from the US, in Thailand, in Canada, and Australia. And she also has pieces in permanent collections, including the Crown for Infant of Prague in the Carmelite Monastery, Philadelphia, the trio of hair ornaments at the Wallace Memorial Library in Philadelphia, and a brooch and two rings at the Museum of Arts and Design in New York, just to mention a few. So she's considered a leader in ethically sourced fine designer jewelry. And last year she was approached by Rio Tinto to create a line of jewelry that tells a story. And so Pure Flight was born. So we are privileged to have Alexandra here with us. She's very excited to see what you do. And even though she's a goldsmith, metalsmith, jeweler, the design in her will be able to work across the field and I'm sure give you valuable feedback in whatever area it is that you're involved in your craft. So welcome, and I present Alexandra.
Wow, that makes me sound like some kind of superstar. It's just me. I am a maker, just as you are a maker. I have worked now for coming up on 25 years with this crazy drive to make these things. Gail asked me to talk a little bit about my origins as well, sort of just like you, scholarship and academia was certainly what schools encouraged in the children. Art programs and music programs are disappearing in the United States. And people like me who really aren't very talented in the math, reading, and academic subjects really don't have a whole lot of options. And so my parents didn't even know what to do with me. There was this child who was seeing very small microorganisms and making drawings and obsessing about stuff. What do you do with this child? My parents were both very academically successful, and I was what they called dyslexic, failing in school, but so focused on something driving me as well. And I'm sure you all feel the same thing. It's almost like we don't have a choice. It comes out of us, not even from our heads. It's like in our bodies, you know? Especially makers, people who see it as well as feel it and get to know the materials. So I was early on this kid they just didn't know what to do with. And so fortunately my mother was also very creative. She decided to encourage my creativity outside of school. So I ended up going to a college, a university that had a very strong art program. And I began discovering jewelry making there. So I was already, you know, in my teens, late teens, by the time I discovered metal. As makers, you all have chosen, or the material has chosen you almost, right? The thing that you're drawn to, the thing that you work with, you are drawn to that material, and when you find that material, it's kind of like heaven. It's like, oh, this is exactly what I'm thinking, even without knowing the material. So when I discovered metal, it was the answer. You know what I mean? It was the one material that did everything I was trying to do. I didn't have to force it to do something that it wasn't naturally doing. And as craftspeople, this is our connection, you know? Design and material. And they come together in one place where the material expresses itself through your hands and your technique into something that is exemplary of both you and your creativity and the material itself. So it's already a collaboration, actually. And I'm actually unusual that way. I think a lot of people, even in my own field, use the material as a means to an end instead of listening to the qualities of the material. And I stand out amongst my fellow metalsmiths and jewelers because I listen to the material. Bracelets. So another thing that I try to do in my work, in the point of the attention to the materials' characteristics, is I want to leave evidence of both the material itself and the workmanship. So I like a degree of texture. This is actually in wood. The texture is evidence of the hammering and yet at the same time, it adds to the natural aesthetic. So all of my work is trying to bring the two, both the material, the workmanship, and the design to mean one thing. You'll see that even when it's a lot of different parts, it's a very singular aesthetic. It's literally conducting the material as opposed to forcing it to do something. So this is part of the Rio Tinto project, the silver work with diamonds. I was asked to design a collection so that they could use me for marketing diamonds and I could use them for international exposure. So I didn't find the career or the trade of jewelry until I reached college. I was, even in high school, which is our, I guess, fourth level, A level, what is it? A level? Okay. I had classes there, but there was no career illustrated. There was no opportunity still. I was already finished with high school and looking for a creative college before I discovered there's actually people who do what I was trying to do. So that was sort of miraculous. And so I studied all the classes that I could in metalsmithing and in art. So I have a very broad art background, a little bit of art history, but quite a broad 3D, woodworking, glass blowing, metalsmithing, paper, not paper making, but paper work, drawing, painting, to sort of broaden my exposure. But I discovered after college that there's a career in design and or manufacturing of jewelry. Literally, I was late on the scene. I had no idea. So probably all of you have a big advantage on me for that. So I then discovered that there was graduate programs. I came from a very academic family, and the best way for us, since they had no access to apprenticeship or other people that I could work with, I had to go through the academic side. So I went back to school, and I got a master's degree. And when I discovered that when this happened, it was like my whole purpose in life had come into one place. I was encouraged to explore the metal, to create pieces I'd never learned how to make before, technical, difficult pieces, and I excelled way beyond what they expected because I hadn't had experience before. So that was very fortunate because they paid me to go to school. So when you do really well, they pay you. It's very nice. And after graduate school, so it's a kind of a long story to get me to becoming my own boss. Then I worked for a German goldsmith because both she was in the city that I had come out of graduate school, but also the German training is exceptional in goldsmithing. They are the pinnacle of technique. So much of the fine jewelry technique I learned in my apprenticeship with the German goldsmith. And then finally I moved out of town, moved to California, and started my own business. And the way I launched my business was to mimic the apprenticeship business, which was wholesale, which I don't know if you have a very similar thing. When I decided that I didn't want to do a fair and sell to the average public, because that's a lot of salesmanship, and I'm really not a salesperson. I wanted to sell to a gallery or a store. So yes, I only get half of the full price that the end customer gets, but I built my whole business on selling to a store, and the store does all that salesmanship. So I had to keep my costs, my overhead very low, because I needed to make half of the full value, because that's the markup. When you sell to a store, they double the price. They have expenses, I have expenses. My expenses are material and my own labor, and their expenses are a very good storefront, very expensive sales staff, and all that kind of thing. And so I launched my business by attending trade shows, probably not too dissimilar to HIFA. Trade shows meaning just store buyers who come to shop, not the general public. So at wholesale, because it's half price, you need to make a lot of sales and you need to make a lot of work that's available. So it's convenient to have sales throughout the year so you can stay busy. And I like it that way because I could be busy in my studio and not out on the street doing all the salesmanship. But it's, most artists, most craftspeople in the United States right now actually have to do both. Because there's really not enough money and not enough buyers. And in the States at least, and in a lot of other countries, the internet has killed a lot of retail business. So stores are suffering because I can buy it on eBay. I can buy it on somewhere else for cheaper. So it's been very different, very difficult, very, very challenging. The kind of business plan that you set out to do can't last very long. So I've actually had about 3 different kind of styles of business plan in my 15 years full-time medicine. But I stay very small. I do my own work. I keep a very small business and I can be flexible. I don't hire a big staff and then have to change everything and fire them. So, and the last thing I want to say about just my own personal career is it has been very difficult. It is a very, very uphill battle. Sure, America has a lot more people buying stuff, but there are a bazillion jewelry and metalsmiths, very creative people out there. The competition is very stiff. And the reason that I have gotten these prizes and the notice in the magazines is because I'm willing to both know the market, but also a little bit ignore the market or be the forefront. I want to stand out. I'm willing to make the crazy pieces that get the attention and then bring the customer over to buy something smaller. So there's, yes, you want to know the market, but you don't want to reproduce the market. You want to make your piece that fits the market. Make it yours and make it unique. It's the only way I've gotten on these, I mean, really nice coverage. I get a lot of free photography. I get, you know, because so photo shoot, the first one, the beautiful one with the big necklace, that was free. Someone said, you know, can we use your necklace on a shoot in New York? I said, yes. And there I get free, beautiful photography. So the point being, there's a balance that we all need to make. It's sometimes a compromise, and sometimes it's a happy balance. Move on to what I've prepared here is, let's see, what's this? Let me show you some collaboration images. Okay, so my most exciting collaboration project was with this team. The guy sitting down is the photographer, and then there are 3 designers. 2 of them are fashion designers. So this is the first time I learned how to sew. And this is only 2 years ago now. It's pretty sad. Sorry, folks. We used a very, very old sewing machine. They taught me how to sew, and we each brought our ideas together. Here's me testing a sample to see if you can make it stretch and see what the ruffles do. Kathy showing us how to pin the fabric together before making this layered thing. It's really, these pictures are kind of like what we're doing today, where we just start brainstorming and having fun together and see what do you like, what do you think about. And it was very magical. It was probably the most powerful experience I've ever had, because I'm excited to learn about different materials and different crafts. A lot of people just focus on their one thing, but I think it's more exciting and you get more creativity when you start to look at other people's work. So here's my dress coming together. So the inspiration for this group is, we called ourselves, it was a city project, a lot like Gail's mustard seed project. It's a city project called Art Meets Fashion. And there were many teams probably 15 teams of 4 people in each team. And 3 of us were designers, so we came up with 3 different dresses. And our team's theme was evolution transformed. So we were talking about evolution of species, basically. So my personal inspiration was the jellyfish. See, I even made shoes with the help of a woodworker because I didn't have a shop. These are experiments. You know, how do I make the bubble of the jellyfish? Here's all the ruffles. I learned how to dye the silk, sew the silk. Here it is hanging in my backyard to dry. Hanging all over my plants because it was so long. And then ironing it to set the dye. Layers and layers of it. And you will see. Here's the metal construction of what will become the jellyfish part. These are the parts that I used. We combined materials. So it's exciting for them as well because they now could bring metal into their work. They are textile people. But we were able to introduce properties that would help their textiles. And this is a photo shoot, putting the girl in the dress, adjusting the ruffles, and I'll show you there's a final shoot. This is, of course, my jewelry on the top of her head. These are the parts that make the butterfly wings on one of the dresses. Just the construction I wanted to keep note of. And let's see. It goes in order. I just made this file today, so forgive me. There is a final. All right, and ta-da! You see, they used me on the invitation for the whole project. They picked my piece. I was the only non-fashion designer, so I didn't think like a fashion designer. I thought like jellyfish. So this top piece bubbles. You can push it up and down, and it billows and flows and tentacles. Then these are other samples of things that are like little projects, sort of offshoots. It's a little purse. The renderings that we submitted, my friend did that. I didn't do that drawing. I'm not a fashion drawer. This is the idea board with samples. And here's some of the final shoot. So convenient for us, we had a photographer. I mean, that's the final. I can show you later the other 2 dresses. You saw images of the other 2 dresses. Anyway, so this was just so exciting to me, and this is really sort of why collaboration is now what I will go out of my way to find new people and new ideas. So I'm very grateful you guys are here. Here's another one of the dresses. Of course, with my jewelry all over it. Another jellyfish. That was another interpretation of a jellyfish. And then this, you see the wings? They actually fold closed. And when you walk out onto the runway, you release them and it flies open. It's like, ta-da! That's really fun. So, there we are.
It's not heavy. They're not heavy, the wings.
What about, they're not heavy, no. Very fine wire. Very fine metal wire. It's spring steel. So it has a lot of flexibility. And the wire itself is kind of heavy, but not heavy on the model. So I'm showing you these because they're examples of trendy crochet. This is beautiful. The ombre. So ombre is another very powerful thing that's very fresh right now. Is, you know, ombre, like a transitional color, where you go from dark to light, or from red to purple, or something like that. That's happening a lot right now. Texture, a lot of hairy, coarse against very refined edges. And of course, I'm dying to do work with cow horn. And then also, applique pattern. Here's crochet. I mean, look at that. I did some research on handbags as well. Structure is coming back in handbags. They're not as lumpy as they used to be. Sort of good square shape. I want to show you some People want cases for their computers that also is a nice handbag. This is paper. Some brides are getting married with beautiful paper bouquets and displays. Crochet, so 2 layers, you do a little underdress. This is, you know, the Africa that they're looking at. So, you know, a few calories here and there. This, I think, is the most hybrid area where that very rough and oversized print and pattern is very popular right now, without looking too directly African, but still has that African punch. And then not too many colors together. So compatible colors or two-tone. This is just spectacular. And the applique part, whether it be applied beads, applied crochet. This is all paper, so whoever's a paper maker, I also want to talk to as well. And then I brought batik, because you see, I'll have to be able to, maybe later on my other computer. This is carving, this is a ring. So rings are very popular, oversized knits, and a lot of open weave. Open knit, open crochet, not too tight, even if you're doing a handbag or a shopping bag. And of course, I always look at natural. I try not to look at other product, I look at the natural source. You see the structure, it's a little bit chaotic, but it's elegant. And these are rolled paper beads. Singularity in color. This is not crochet, but you can dissolve the substrate. Here's another sort of basket where you bleed the color, that's ombre. And here's another example of the oversized print. Take beading, bib necklaces, huge, still huge, even if they're on a fabric background, and then of course. And then very primary modernist colors. That is all beading, this dress, solid beading. Now, your everyday person isn't going to wear that, but man, oh man, will some girl buy a skirt under or a patch shirt. I was glad to see fancy designers doing this kind of thing. And this is the blue and white, sort of the classic, but you see it's sort of absurd on the body, but it looks great at the same time. It's like porcelain. Again, simple, oversized print. I thought that was just terrific. This is really strong right now. And there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. But you see how they're not fighting each other. The shape of the bag, even though it's coarse, very square. Texture. Look at texture on the cow horn. Dyeing the cow horn. That's all beaded, but there's that ombre. Even though we're not making gowns together, that information gets into the minds of the makers and comes out in the product. I mean, look at the shape of that. It's organic and yet still very round and simple. This is a diamond necklace, but would be beautiful in crochet, for example. And there's ombre again. Crochet earrings. Structure. Texture on structure of bags. Oversized print on an overcoat. I know I'm bombarding you with these, but I know you're going to sort of absorb a little something and bring it into your own work. Collectively, you'll get a sense of, it's very diverse. I mean, there's never really just one. You know, no longer is there a time where everyone fits in the same shape, you know, the A-line dress and all that stuff. But these are all fall 2015. This, I can get it to pause. This dress is made of, recycled shirt collars and zippers. And it's a wedding dress. And this is an art piece. But talk about recycled. You see how down below they're unzipping? It's old zippers and shirt collars. And old stained shirt collars, this is just a genius couturier person that I met. The stain became the ombre, and she did them like layers, and they became like these fish scales of men's shirt collars. I could never have thought of that, but it was beautiful at the same time. It's just really exciting to see. All right. Just had to share that. I was in a show. I did the crowns because of that. Look at this basketry. Those are the sleeves. These sleeves, and then this embroidered, oversized pattern. Look at this basketry. So some Americans are buying baskets as objet d'art, so like an art piece, and some are doing both, but they all want something that looks outstanding. Again, the black and white and the patterns, you see sort of rustic, sometimes ethnic patterns. The color blocking, it's all kind of out of scale with the body. And then the sporty look, which, you know, I don't know if we'll get toward that, but it's very strong. Look at this basket. Leaving the material to express itself at the edge. And this is spectacular. And this is actually one of the inspirations for my crochet dress, was seeing that. Those are tiny little shells that are on all the threads. All right, so that's it for the samples. I can certainly come back to that. And the basketry sample. And I can show this again. This is what I thought of for beading. The open weave. I really am hoping to have a little less tight-knit, a little more open spacing. I like this idea in terms of, I think of it as like the network and the connection we have to each other. And it allows for the translucence. You can see other colors underneath. And it makes a nice big necklace. So these are sort of the inspiration of the beading. I mean, you guys all know how to do this stuff already. Go on to the next sample. Crochet. An asymmetrical pattern. We can try to make it look more organic, less regular, or as though it were regularly grown. So this is sort of the look. This is it all possible. And then these are some examples of the shape and what you can do with crochet. Of course, I love to crochet wire. We'll have to talk about sourcing and stuff like that, but these are sort of the crochet samples. You can crochet wire to make sculpture and to make baskets, for example. Okay. And then color trends, which I just did, cowhorn. Making a bib necklace from just the cutting the ends, you know, or belt buckle and bracelets. These are very trendy, very simple. And then carving into the cowhorn and maybe piercing it out, opening it up like that, like the corals. And these are the examples I'm using, sort of the textures and inspiration from that. And this is a little interior scene at the bottom from Pottery Barn, I think. So it's kind of neat to see that this is an example of what everyone wants to buy in the States, because this is their little sort of natural corner of their house. They're buying lamps, and this is even a little container out of cowhorn. So whoever's working in cowhorn, it's pretty neat. And then paper. I made a sample board for paper. I was thinking about the rolled beads, like the magazine beads, but you can also take the beads and make this kind of pattern out of it, an open weave again. So it looks almost like the crochet. You can do it with plastic beads, glass beads, or these paper beads. And then you can stack them in a row, like this. I have examples of pictures. Can you see that well enough? These are sort of stacked. These are all rolled. And then this one is sort of square, laid out. And then the other option being handmade paper flowers. There's even a wedding picture here with giant flowers. All right, so let's see if there's one more. There's more. Okay, and these are just a few more hits of colors incoming in interiors, in household colors. Turquoise and orange together. It's probably got a little more time left. And then this stuff is sort of like ombre again. A color that relates to another color and transitions. This kind of blue and white, porcelain-like. You see in the scene here, this is all sort of what the rich people are buying right now. And then turquoise, you see they're painting a panel of color into their house and then putting a nice color piece next to it. Scroll down here. Pillows. Some woven pattern. These are really popular right now. iPhone holders for sports. If you have any stretchy material, anything that has a little pocket for tech is selling very well right now if it's the right size. So if you can keep up with the size of the phones, you can keep up with, you know, the market. The sleeve idea is kind of fun. Here's the blue, and gold is sort of one of the colors coming in, and copper color, whether it be brocade or plated beads, gold beads. Gold is kind of coming back, especially not just in jewelry. And then this beautiful pillow. This is actually a red pillow with white applique. So it has gorgeous texture. And you see how it's organic and simple? So it also has that same open weave effect that I'm sort of thinking about. And another applique pillow. Let's see what else is here. And you already saw that. Jewelry inspirations, again, the rough texture, but in a refined sense. Cow horn, I was imagining shaping it out more like a bangle.
Especially when it comes to coming out with that refined painted surface, do you use any machinery or do you use any specific paints? Or
It depends on the material you're painting on. Are you talking about painting on textile?
textile or metal? Or the metal you were talking about?
Okay.
What sort of technique do you use to come out with that refined?
I don't personally paint on metal. I can imagine that the rough and refined, you could do a very nice refined metal piece that has rough edges that end in a nice refined edge. So, for example, if you were doing a wall hanging metal thing, it would be really nice to either have maybe very rough brush strokes, ombre, have a pattern, but make sure that some bit of the piece has a very delicate line or a very concluded edge. Does that make sense? So it's not rough all the way through, it's a balance. It helps your eye want the rough because it has an edge to understand. Does that make any sense? So if I were painting, say, a disc, a metal disc or a bowl or something like that, similar to this, you see this, the painting is fairly rough, but the clean lines of the contrast is what hold it together. If it was all this white, it would be kind of boring. If it was all this, it would be kind of boring. But what's provided is a really nice, clean, smooth edge and a contrast, something for your eye to land on and then move to. Yes?
Do you have special type of machine or prestige machine that you use to make your metal jewelry?
I don't. There's my machine right there.
You don't use
I have
any machine?
tools to show you, and I had it on the other computer. So what I'll do is I'll bring my other computer when we talk again, and I'll show you my tools.
Yeah,
I make my tools.
Yeah, I don't want to see them.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm very low tech. I use traditional methods because that's the only way that I can get the look and the feel that I want. Because I want the hand shown in the work.
On the woven cushions, what type of materials do you use? And do you draft your designs on your own?
I'll answer the last one first and then ask you again on the other. I always draw. I draw and draw and draw and draw. All of my ideas that are floating around in my head, they are completely random unless I grab them and draw them into a sketchbook. Then I think, ooh, I wake up in the morning, I'm going to forget that. I got to write it down. Because I do, I forget it. Oh, that was a great idea. I lost it. So I always draw, primarily. When it's a very complicated piece, I do 1 or 2 prototypes. Rough draft. So for example, let's see if I can quickly find an image. 2 prototypes. What I did was I drew it, and I drew it again, and I thought, ooh, I want it to go this way. And then there's a limit, because you're only on paper. I really need to see it in 3 dimensions. So first I made paper strips, and I started looking at them together, because I don't want to waste my metal, because it's very expensive. So paper strips, and I started to get a sense of the length, and I measured. And then I moved into non-precious metal, and I started making a few strands of these. I have a better picture, I can show you the full necklace. But they're, yes?
I was interested to hear that you've got a small company, which you know, as a designer, you feel every piece. And I wanted to ask how many employees do you have, and which part they play in your business?
Okay, 0 employees. I am it. My boss is really tough. I've got a rough boss, but yes, I work like mad. I work all the time. I like the flexibility. I like the control. I like what I can produce, and I have tried a couple of times to train people to make my work, and it's very difficult. Both times that I've paid someone to learn, they have failed. So now I apprentice.
Learn from you. What I want to ask is, how do you strike the balance between art being you and art being a business? Because I'm sure a lot of us here will identify with the fact that we're passionate about art first, you know. Before you start off making money out of a piece, it's the love of producing that thing that really sort of triggers you. So how do you then strike that balance? Because you can wake up today and you have an envelope, no ideas, nothing is happening. But somebody should be rolling in at some point.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
That's a very, very tough question, and a very good question, because we all face this. I think I feel around, you know, I need to make money and I need to make art. In my case, and I'm not recommending this is just in my case. It may be an example, it may not. I've allowed the 2 sides to separate a little bit, and I make sure I feed my soul with the art, whether or not someone's going to buy it, and then I make sure I feed my mouth with the side that people want to buy. In my case, a lot of people now come to me and ask me to make something for them, design and make something for them. Right now, that's the major part of my business, is someone comes to me with a special order. What's nice for me is that they already want to buy it, so they put money down. I design, I make them happy, I make the piece and I give it to them. With wholesale, when I was talking about selling to the galleries, I also keep that up. And what I do there, because that's based on sales, I give them a little bit of the very beautiful creative to help the customer understand the production work. I look at nature. It's probably obvious in my work. I don't look at other jewelry to make jewelry. I look at what I love, which is nature, culture, animals, plants. I even try not to look at too much jewelry. Every once in a while I look at what people are buying because I have to know what shapes and styles, and if rings are really popular, I gotta make some more rings. But I really try on design, I try not to look at anything similar to mine. I look away from it, and I look at what my heart and soul loves, which is plants and animals. And so I take an aspect of a plant or an animal. I don't reproduce it, I don't make a flower. I take the veins on the petals of the flower, and I bring it into the jewelry because I know metal will do these beautiful veins. This is a sea anemone, but it's also a sculpture. This is a leaf, like a skeleton leaf. This is antelope.
What type of material is this?
This one is wood. Wangi and...
The previous one.
Let's go back.
Yeah, this one.
Melt it. A sheet of wax, I pierce it, and then I melt it a little bit. So all this texture is literally showing off how it's made. That's another thing I always do, because I think it makes it look more authentically organic. It's not a copy of a leaf, but it's some aspect of a leaf. So I go out of my way to do this because there's so many people already looking at the same thing that they're making, and it's like it's a closed circle, and you don't get out of it. You get in a rut. I get in a rut. I shouldn't speak for anyone else. And that's where my soul is. My soul is doing something that has nothing to do with anything else. And for some reason, in my creativity, even the dress that you saw, even the sculpture that you will see, I relate it to the body. I want it to have some relationship to the body. That's where my work expresses itself. I don't know why. My husband's like, why don't you go just be a sculptor? Divorce yourself from the body. It's not happening. I want to wear it. I want to put it on. I want it to have something to do with the human body, even if it's never worn. That's just where I am. So, and that's on the very creative side. And then I try to take some of that and then bring it back into the jewelry aesthetic that's uniquely mine. Does anyone have any more questions? Yes.
How do you identify trends?
In my own field, I see it because I'm at the trade shows and I'm reading the magazines. But I do look at magazines, and nowadays I look on the web. And in fact, I'll pull up some websites for you that are really helpful to me, that are in general. My favorite, I was describing to someone else just a moment ago, is the Sartorialist. I don't know if you would want to write these down.
Can you spell it?
Yes. T-H-E, Sartorialist. And I'll show you the spelling. S-A-R-T-O-R-I-A-L-I-S-T. It's a very academic word for what you wear, what people wear. This guy is a very excellent photographer. He goes all over the world, mostly Europe, sometimes as far as east as India. And he's showing us what people are wearing now, what chic people are wearing at the moment. I look at what's now and what's already happening, not just what's on the runway. I look at collar lines, because where will a necklace go, for example. Yeah, go ahead.
So do you have a special language for fashion outside the common language that we use for jewelry?
What do you mean by language?
In terms of, like you're saying, like sartorial, you have a special language that you use. It's just a general question.
I just look, there's a whole lot of free information. There's a lot of people talking about fashion and trend. You can find it on the net in a lot of places, and I'm just going to give you a bunch of the places where I look. If I want to know if blue is going to be sort of chic or not in the fall. It's not really a separate language. It's just people have told me where to find and introduced me to it, and I've accumulated it, and now I have emails sent to me. So this one is Vogue Italia. Anything with Vogue, it's a magazine. Even if you're just looking once in a while, you can see articles, you can see, this is more runway stuff. Vogue Italia. Italy is really the pinnacle of fashion still in Milan. So this is maybe even further ahead. Sartorialist is now all over the world. Vogue Italia is more incoming. Another one is style.com. Let's see if I have it. No, I don't. It's spelled STYLE.com. You can subscribe for free and they send you emails. They have something every day. Not all of it is what you want to see, but you know, seeing little images from the runway shows, little articles about how people are doing their hair, you know, a lot of it is too much that you don't need, but you can pop into a few of these and you start to get a sense. And then another one of my favorites, and I used it in the sample boards that I was showing you, the ones that were whole boards with pictures of people and things at the same time. Pinterest is a social media site. You can get an app on your phone. Pinterest, PINTEREST.com. You have to, I think in the terms of a phone, you need an app. But if you look up the word fashion or style or color, you will find so many people have posted for free all of these things. So I look up fashion fall 2015 because I want to know what we would be making now for then. So that's what I did with Pinterest. There's many, many boards. Yes. Say it again. PINTEREST. The symbol is a P in a red P in a round circle. You can get an app on your phone. And those are the main sources that I have found. I know there's many more. If you sit down at a computer and you use just the search. Another search I do is an image search. So you go to Google, you type in fashion fall 2015, and you find images, and then just bazillions of images come up on your screen, and I look for similarities in those. But I'm always looking at the date because I'm trying to see what's coming. So an image, it's called an image search on your browser for whatever you're looking for. So if you're looking for pillows, you want to make pillowcases, do an image search for pillowcases 2015 or something like that so that it's current. Otherwise it'll be pictures from whenever. It's a great way to get ideas, or at least stimulate some new ideas in your own work. Like, oh, wow, I do applique, but I never wove my applique into something. So those are really, nowadays, I've let go a lot of my subscriptions because they even have the subscriptions online. Tomorrow we'll bring a couple of magazines that show what American craftspeople are doing and their kind of work. So you will see some more images that are on, physical as well. And I don't obsess with that. I like to check in with it just to make sure I'm making something that has a place. But I don't obsess over fashion. I like a general idea as opposed to specifics. But it's a great way to get good stimulated ideas of what's coming. And a sense. I know you all are so visual. You'll get a sense of what is happening because you'll see it repeated and repeated in different forms. So, yes?
Could you please talk a little bit about branding? And what's the technique? What does one need to actually put out there for people to...
Perfect question. Yes, perfect question. Yes. Yes. She would like to know what branding is and how we do it. So branding is just a fancy word for making your own work, representing yourself and your work. So a logo, meaning a symbol that is yours and only yours. It could be just your signature, it could be an animal, it could be what you use as an example of yourself. The colors that you use on your print material. Let's see. I don't have that much that's branded in this packet. Let's see what this is. All right, here's an example. So I did an invitation to a very fancy, the couture show. I was the emerging designer. So I sent out invitations to all the fancy buyers because nobody's ever heard of me. I needed to tell them. So I made a beautiful example of who I am. So I worked with a graphic designer. I didn't do all this myself, but I had the ideas that I wanted something super special and a keepsake. So a really nice tag. It's nice, right? Mm-hmm. You, in every way you represent yourself, you want to be aesthetically well represented. So everything that you are is an example of your work. So all my print material, any of my handouts have my colors, my logo, and my style kind of thing. So this is the inside. So what we did is this fits in an ordinary envelope. It's a very shockingly dramatic piece, so it's eye-catching. It's kind of nicely laid out. And oh, my name is this font, this kind of print. My logo is always this. My name and my logo. And again, you see it on my business card. You're starting to see this is a dark brown and this is a light blue. So those are my colors, my branded that I'm using to represent my stuff.
Hello audience, I'm Joseph. I do this wire beaded stuff. I did this in South Africa. Mm-hmm. But for the moment I just want to come back here in Zim.
Yeah.
Hello everybody. So I'm Regis. I do jewelry. I do the same as this dude. This is what I did. This is what I do. I use horn and bone, different kind of materials. I get inspiration from all the people around, from nature, from everyone, from ideas that people gave me is what inspired me the most. This is part of my product. It's another design product.
You carve your own beads, right?
Yeah, I carve my own beads.
Very nice.
But now I specialize in carving bone.
Yep.
But I use different kind of materials. Previously I was using stone. So maybe.
Oh yeah, cool. Great.
Yeah, I think that's what I think.
Yes?
My name is Erika Takandesa. I am a weaver. I do hand weaving. It's fine art. I do hand woven bags. I can weave any type of material, even fine material, to make dresses, curtains, throw-overs for the beds, cushions. I do my own dyes. I use natural dyes, like this one, this brown color. It's a natural dye. I use mango leaves. And I also use fabric dyes. These materials are recycled materials. They're just strips. I don't buy the material. They're just strips, they're recycled materials. I can do as big as this one. I can make any size, any color because I do my own dyeing. They are all handmade and unique.
And is that the size of your loom, that one? Is that the width of your loom?
This one is
Yeah?
small. My loom is 1.5
It's even bigger.
meters wide. It's bigger.
Very big.
But
Yeah.
the length I can do any size.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Perkins. People shopping me specs. I work with leather, batiks, recycled fabrics, like an old shirt, like an old Zambia. Then you make something new from it. I'm looking at collaborating with paper,
Yeah.
and I also use Hessian.
Which?
Hessian.
Okay.
Yes, old sets like
Yeah.
the background one used for the market, tobacco for
Yeah.
the farmers.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been inspired by your idea of getting in touch with the European markets, like marketing yourself abroad, and I've been also out of the country through HIFA. I was in Botswana,
Okay.
Global Expo, and I got a clip which I was planted in the BT News, showing our works from
Good. Great.
Thanks.
Great.
Good morning, my name is Laszlo Mavunga. I'm an artist. I focus mainly on lighting products. So first I'll show you this product. It's a cylindrical wall lamp. I use metal, and then I farm ostrich eggs. I recycle all those ostrich eggs. I crush them into a powder, and then I mold them into these shapes. So I have different shapes and sizes. And then I also use these Afrocentric kind of colors, oily colors as well. So apart from this product, I've designed the new products. You can actually access these at Lights for Africa or Lighting World. These are beaded lamps with cane and the recycled metal. So what we are doing is we are collecting all the thrown out metal in the industries, and then we use them to carve these shapes. So I have more than 30 shapes in terms of these products, and I have also about 20 shapes of these products, including chandeliers, wall lamps, and other types of lamps. Thank you.
My name is One Day. I'm a sculptor. I work on a recycling of found objects. Also, I use driftwood to mix it with it, and then distill the photos to become something like fancy and so forth different. So that's my work. Thank you.
How big can you do work? How big?
Yeah, even a 7 meter.
You do the big ones
Yes,
too.
the biggest.
Yes, wonderful.
Thank you.
My name is Lawrence Musimba. I do well. I'm using cardboard and also ask for painted.
So beautiful carving. Yeah, that's wonderful. Are you looking to collaborate as well?
Yes, I'd like to learn more about
Okay.
using natural things.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, my name is Zaiki Fongoga. I make leather crafts. Very unfortunate I didn't bring samples, I just got a wallet. Most of my samples are on the photos here. Yeah. I make from leather jackets, waistcoats, handbags, sandals, wallets, belts, so many. Thank you.
My name is James Chifamba. I make jewelry from cow horns. I make walking sticks and hair clips, key holders, earrings, bracelets. Yeah, I'm collaborating with Clarice for the beadwork, and he's helping me with different designs.
So you're already collaborating right
Yeah.
now? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Excellent. Thank you.
My name is Farai Nyakuja. I'm from Leather and SM Unit Designers. We make bags from SM and the leather. Last time we collaborated with Colimo to come up with these products. We used to make them without batik, but now we are using batik to come up with something unique from others. I think that's what we have. We can make belts, And these clutch bags, somebody Becky told us to make this one from last road ram.
Yeah.
So we come up with this.
Looks great.
Yes, with these clutch bags and these bags here. And you were saying about the shopping bags. They told us to make these shopping bags so that the people with from recycled materials, and so that the world is going phase out plastic bags,
yes.
so they can use our bags to go shopping. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eric. I make bags. I use leather beads, and I also make curtains, so that's a little bit careful. I'll hang it out so we can see it. And I also use wire and other different things that I'll bring and show tomorrow.
Hello, my name is Clarice Wadzanai Goredema. I am a fashion designer first, but I am currently fancying myself as a jeweler. Started December 2012. I am working with cow horn, and I've been experimenting with a bit of wire there. Intricate beading and cow horn. I work in collaboration with James, and I'm also fancying a collaboration with Regis.
Excellent.
A bit of bone and beads. Here I just decided to be a little bit naughty, and I'm working with coral and porcupine beads. And here I thought I would find a means to use crepe leather from the industry, and I did a bit of elaborate beading there, and I just thought something beautiful could come out of that.
My name is Enoch Kolimbo. I'm a creative artist. I make very nice batik. I used to make some runners and half meters. And, this year I'm planning to make bigger pieces, which I used to make before about 6 years ago, but I'm coming back now to bigger pieces. This one is also in order for someone, so I just thought of bringing it here. And this one here, last year also I was involved in these workshops, which I researched my designs. Like this one, it becomes a new design, but I designed it in 1997. I didn't use it, so I just retrieved it from my designs. I'm now working with the background of the sun dye in my own designs, and also my other new creations, which I did bring some of them here. I'm on the picture as well. And I like working with crafters together. And we formed an association, which I'm the chairperson. We network events, we do some product development amongst ourselves as crafters. So there are a couple of our members here who are here. And even him, he's coming from South Africa. He can be able to join us, we can show him the way to go about the crafts in Zimbabwe.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Hello, my name is Nyasha. I make handmade paper and paper products like decor. I make flowers for brides. Right now, I'm focusing a lot on the bridal industry because that's where the money is, unfortunately. But I also do cards that I design on my own. I've explored table settings like placemats, posters, and things like that.
Beautiful.
Firstly, I would like to say I'm sorry I was very late. I didn't see things that came out and someone just set my day today because I didn't know that I was supposed to come in, but I got email. My name is Colin Tsungo. I'm a wire basket weaver. Mostly that's what I do. Unfortunately, I didn't have some samples here because I didn't apply this time. But last time I was in the road when 2013, yeah, together with some of the guys here.
Yeah.
And I am a bit creative. In fact, I can say I'm very creative. I can work with almost everything.
All right.
When given the opportunity. Unfortunately, today I don't get to something, but I think with some photos which are in my phone, and unfortunately my phone is very, very ugly. I think I'll show you if I send over.
Will you maybe be able to bring them tomorrow? Some samples tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
Okay, then we'll work with this tomorrow. Thank you. Hey.
My name is Rachel Jamanda. I also do recycling and beading, and I also make fashion. I'm a fashion designer on my own. I just do my own clothes. So I'm just seeing so many people coming and say, can you make one like this? Like what I'm putting on. I do this on my own. And this is a bag which we also make. We are a group of women. We call ourselves whaling women. So out of selling all these things, we feed 71 children, and we send about 56 children, albinos, to school. And we use these records, making fruit bowls. We can even make bags of this, out of this. And these are ribbons, ribbons from the computer, from the registrar computer. There are some IDs here. So if they lost it, we just go and pick it. We throw it out and we go. My office is just near to the registrar office. And this is at the cassettes ribbons also. And I was telling my friend here saying, oh, paper bags are being phased out. This is a trash bag made out of paper bags. And we put a little bit so that it looks neat, and we put a little bit of lining to make it nice and strong so that you can just go to parties with something different. You don't carry handbags, you just carry air. Wherever I go, I see seeds. My mind comes and says I can make things out of this. And these are some of the seeds which I'm using to make necklaces. And for beading, all this, I do them on my own, even this. So, except shoes and the ring and this, this is what I bought. So we do a lot of things. So I once sent a bag, but I didn't want it to be here. I just said, just take a photo and bring the bag back with the Royco papers. And we have nice bags. And last year, Unilever gave us a lot of money through that bag. So we are teaching ladies in Harare. Now we are going to Blawa also to teach women how to make those bags with used Royco papers and safe papers. So we make a lot of things as a group of women. We started in 2008. In 2013, I won the SADC Gender Protocol at work, empowering and educating women. In 2014, no one challenged me. I don't know this year.
We like a challenge. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christine. I do bracelets and the necklaces and the earrings with beads. Even the seashell, we can make bracelets and the necklaces.
Hi everybody. My name is Rosemary Chiwona. I am more concerned about the house. These are food covers. I make them on my own. And I'm also teaching my community. I want everyone to be empowered. I also, this one is the continental pillowcase. So I make the base spread with the small pillowcases as well. So it's a bedroom set. I just brought this one. I also make these tops. I also, this is the waistcoat. Just creative. Something different. For waistcoat.
Is it crochet or knit?
Crochet.
It's crochet.
Crochet. Then this small sets. I do a lot of a lot of embroidery, even the fine embroidery. I do a lot of work, so they just chose this one. I brought plenty of goods, so they just said 5 only.
Yeah.
So, I can create almost anything. I don't, when I'm asleep at night, that's when I think,
it's always working.
What should I do next, which nobody's making? So that's what but I shared with my friends. If I get an idea, I shared, because I want every woman to be empowered. I always talk to the young men, if your wife is not doing anything, please bring it to me. I'll help you. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Member Masora. I make jewelry, center for raw materials. Here is a baton necklaces. These are batons, it's wood. And this one is called the memory wire necklace, because when you open it, it remembers to go back. So it's a memory wire necklace. And here, it's a leather necklace, it's a pendant, leather plus beads. And here, it's a baton pendant. Here, it's a fabric necklace. So I'm looking forward to work with the guys who make the guys who are in fashion, so that they can suit my necklace. And I'm looking forward again to work with the guys who are into leather, so that I can come up with a nice piece like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Bunisa Ibonzo, and I would like to introduce myself as an ex-convict, because I started doing art when I was in prison. When we were in prison, we had so many hours locked inside. So we started using papers from when people brought us some biscuits, or when they brought us some jiggies. We started using making mats from those papers. So when I came out, I had a very good chance of exhibiting in HIFA through Arts Association of Zimbabwe. So thanks to Jane, we are now doing beaded art. So it's like when I just think of something, I do it myself first, and then I go back to my friends in prison and say, can you make this? I made something like this, and I see it's beautiful. Can we make a lot of things like this? So I just go there, I buy the things. I'm now allowed to go into prison. We have an MOU with the ZPS, because some of the inmates who were inside, when they came out, they continued with what we taught them when they were in prison. So it's like I just, thanks to you, when you said you can collaborate with other people, I thought when we buy these things and then we try to design them, it's like I was feeling guilty to say, I didn't make this yet, and I'm using it. So when you said it's good to collaborate, then I said, okay, I can continue using this. So it's like we are doing this as a group of ex-convicts, and also we are including the other ladies who are still inside. We just think of something, I design it first myself, and then I go back to my friends and say, can we make this? We go to car boot sales in Borodeo. We buy those things which are being thrown away with the ladies, especially from the white community. So we take whatever we see with these beads, and then we destroy the bags, and then we make something like this using the beads. Also, when we were at HIFA last year, Jane, you gave us something, a small piece. And I took it, and then we made a lot of these sets. Yes, we went back to prison, and I gave them the piece. We did it together, and they are making these in large quantities. So this is some of the things we are going to be showcasing at HIFA. And then also when we were at HIFA, there was a lady from Swaziland. South Africa. We did a workshop with her. She taught us to do the beading, and then we said we don't have money to buy the beads. So there's another lady who is collecting these wild seeds, and then these beads we take them from. There's a shop in town. The Indian guy is giving us this for free. These beads for free. So we take them. We just create something. And this is what is coming out. So this is some of the things we are using. We are mixing wild seeds and the beads. So this is what we are doing as ex-convicts and the women inside who are also HIV positive. And we are
sending our children to school. Last year we went to Germany and we displayed our things. This year we are going to India to further our skills on these things. Thank you to HIFA.
Wow. So, oh yeah, good. More.
Don't
Yes,
forget
please.
me.
Yes, got two more.
I'm sorry to disappoint everybody.
No, no.
I don't make anything. But everybody's saying I make this, I make that, which is great. But I'm very proud to be representing women in Chivi district in Masvingo who make these magical things. These are different types of baskets. They're made out of sisal. Now they're doing different colors. This is their new design from Michelle Pesant, which is just fantastic. It's selling like cakes for them. And they are very excited. They've been to India. They've been doing all sorts of projects with British Council this past year. And they've got they're making lampshades, they're making hats. I saw a hat in there, a very nice hat. I think it's made out of sisal, I think. I'm not sure.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I know they can put that out. They can make it. So we've been doing all sorts of things with them. What we do, we're just a vehicle for them. We buy from them, we sell the baskets, and the money that we get from this goes back to them in the form of school fees for their kids, most of which are AIDS orphans. So that's what we do. That's what the ladies are up to. Thank you very much. I forgot to tell you my name. You didn't ask. I'm Priska Nemapare. I am the Chief Program Officer for Zienzele Foundation. And we've been in that area for 16 years. They've been doing great work.
My name is Molin Katio Meyu. I'm a fashion designer, visual artist. I didn't bring my work. I actually brought fabrics and stuff that I was working on. I'm coming from a fashion background. I've got a label called HB Designs. Exhibited in a couple of fashion shows. I participated in HIFA 2011 with Mustard Seed. And Jane, you gave me some sisal and stuff, I don't know what. And I made a couple of things. I work with leftover materials from my fashion stuff, and then I collaborate them with mixed media, beads, and anything else that I can come across. I'll bring my work tomorrow. What I'm wearing is part of the designs that I make, things that are different that you normally wouldn't find anywhere else. Okay, so I'll bring my stuff tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. Whose is that material on the table? Is
That's
that yours?
mine. I bought that stuff.
Great. Now you all know who you are and what you do.
And
Alex
begin
knows
to
you.
talk with each other as we take turns, you know, whoever wants to start talking directly and, you know, find each other so that you guys can work together on your next projects. I want to be sure and get through, make sure I talk individually to everyone as well, but please.
If in this collaboration time, as we finish up today, we've got an hour.
It's 11:45.
We've got 45 minutes. If something changes within your half proposal and you have a new idea, come and see me and we can put it together in the program. Yeah? So, have fun.
My name is Enoch Kolimbo. I'm a creative artist working on textiles. I do batik, tie and dye, and I work also on sand dyeing. I've participated in last year's workshop, design workshop with Gail, which we exhibited our work at HIFA. It helped me so much to improve my work, which I worked out of the box. And I'm now seeing the improvements in my work, which is helping me to market my work and keep my work unique. And I'm very also happy to be invited for this year's workshop, which I'm expecting to have more ideas and produce more new designs.
Hello, my name is Clarice Wadzanai Goredema. I'm a fashion designer and I've just recently discovered jewelry making, which I am currently pushing. I work with recycled materials, I work with bone, I work with beads, and I am collaborating with quite a number of other artists, and I'm loving the project that's coming out of the collaboration. We are working with each other's strengths, and that is just getting our creative juices flowing. Thank you.
My name is Eric Komanyundo. I'm from Ngano Dynasty. I'm an artist. I make bags, sandals, I make curtains, I make jewelry, like this. I make this, and this is some of the bags I make. And I'm here at HIFA, and we're going to participate in a Road to Ramp showcase for 2015. And I'm expecting to do collaborations with other artists so I can forward my work and bring new line of products to my already products I have.
My name is Jane Parsons. I'm the HIFA Craft and Design Consultant.
Okay.
In this capacity, I look at what the craft community are producing from a high quality, creative perspective.
Okay, what do we look forward to, and looking back at the other HIFA festivities, what do we look forward to for 2015?
2015 will bring us new products as we're working on a design workshop at the moment with Alexandra Hart, bringing out new ideas, new collaborations to showcase at HIFA and introduce to the market.
I'm Alexandra Hart. I am a metals artist and designer goldsmith, and I am in Zimbabwe working with Gail Mawocha with her Mustard Seed Africa project, here to collaborate with the craftspeople of Zimbabwe. Here in Harare, hopefully in other parts of the country, working with villagers, bringing the Western objectivity to the product that they're already working with. I'm excited to design with the craftspeople that are here, the designers and craftspeople, and to collaborate, because collaboration is where design can go beyond any individual's own ability and reach. It goes as far as the number of brains and eyes and hands can create. So I'm very, very grateful to be here working with HIFA and with Mustard Seed Africa.
Okay, what do you look forward to, collaborations or sharing of ideas with the local craftspeople here?
I most look forward to where we relate to each other, because we are very much in the same field. We all are people who work with our hands and work with specific materials. The exciting part is when the similarities and then the differences start to gel together, and new ideas are born of the two different minds working together, or number of minds working together. And so that's why I'm here, and that's the most exciting part.
If you're to look at a highlight in your craftsman lifetime or timeline, what would you probably point out as being one of your highlights, that something that keeps on inspiring you to move on and do more designs as you go?
I would say that having the opportunity to design work for exhibition in museums and previous opportunities to collaborate are the two highest points in my career. They are where there is no containment. There is just pure freedom to create as broadly and freely as possible. I've fortunately been able to do a recent project with a museum that I then extended to be a fashion photo shoot and a video, and that was probably one of the greatest highlights of my personal work, which did also include collaboration because I was collaborating with the fashion photographers, the couture dressmakers, the museum with how I wanted to display, and then also with a dancer. So it's even outside of my own medium that my work was able to grow beyond my own reach. I would say that was the highlight.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Gail Mawocha, and I'm the founder and director of Mustard Seed Africa. Our organization focuses on bridging the gap between handcraft artisans and international designers and local designers, because design is a challenge for a lot of handcraft artisans, because their focus is selling, their focus is trying to survive, and that's an element that gets overlooked. So our organization tries on regular periods to get designers to come on the ground, and then there's that collaboration that goes. So that's why we are here today.
What brings Alex? Why did you choose to bring Alex especially the time?
We were impressed with the work that she's done and the quality and also how unique her work is. We also picked up that she has a passion for Africa and that she was a person who wanted to share her skills, learn, and also be able to give back. So when we read her credentials and saw the work that she's done and just her strong portfolio, we had no doubt that she'd be the right person to be our lead designer for 2015.
What led you to then collaborate with the HIFA as a platform? Have the platform why did you choose?
For us, it's we know that HIFA is one of the biggest platforms for artisans to earn an income. Some of them have actually said to me that they earn an income to see them throughout half the year. They can pay their school fees, and that's the biggest platform where they earn. They get great sales from. So our role then is to equip the artisans with the skills, with the design technique, with whatever it takes to make sure that they can maximize on that, using that platform. We also include components such as training, capacity building, business training, where they learn the importance of branding, of marketing, of costing correctly, of labeling, so that their product presentation at HIFA is ready and they can maximize on that opportunity that HIFA presents.
Your patterns could cooperate with design, with visuals, as opposed to just adding something, you know what I mean? This is very well made, and your stitching is really nice and regular. I think that'll details and show all the good color.
One thing is that right now,
The Western market is
right. It's
Sasa super glue kwanza kupanja. Saka pona isa super glue kuti uone kupanja zvakabata. Okay. Zvakabata sei apo takaisa glue asitaka tanga tapanja. Bani super contact. Super contact.